I worked for the county in social services and welfare. My job was to get back the money for people who had been overpaid or fraud. I called this guy and I said, you owe $10,000. How are you going to repay that? He said, I went to jail for that. That doesn't repay the money. He hung up.
Hello everyone, this is Emmanuel Cook. We will be reacting to a new video today, so make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's get into the video.
Have you seen people abusing the system and lying about Angel Tree and meh? I live in West Virginia, okay? It's like the poster child state for abusing the system. I see people that can't afford to feed their fucking kids, but they sure as shit are up at the gas station up the street every day getting their Pall Malls and their fucking case of beer. I love West Virginia. Don't get me wrong. I love my state. I love it. But I see this shit every single day. I see it in the school drop-off line at my Title I school. I see it at the Walmart. I know for a fact most of the people that are on welfare in this county aren't reporting their baby daddy's income or vice versa because they want to be getting benefits and they are okay with that. They want to be impoverished. They have zero desire to get ahead in life and actually take care of themselves. They want to live off of other people's money and handouts. If you don't believe that that happens and don't believe that people cheat the system to get what they want, you're naive. You're naive, and it happens everywhere, not just West Virginia. It happens everywhere. I don't have to judge anyone or make assumptions. They be telling on themselves and showing themselves. Okay? They're doing it for me.
What you guys are not realizing is Section 8 is for women who have men that work and, you know, they're just not on the lease. You know what I'm saying? You have a man that gets money, but he's not on your lease. So all that money that's made is for y'all to completely profit off of without having to worry about your rent going up or not have enough money to pay this. It's also for women who have a side hustle. You know what I'm saying? You do hair. You know what I'm saying? You do nails, lashes, whatever it may be. It is for people who know how to finesse the system. If you do not know how to finesse the system, that is on you. But Section 8 does not keep you poor. Let's not keep that stigma. Let's not keep that stigma.
Okay, so had an issue over the weekend and kind of got some more information about it. So, okay, we had some tenants, and this has been a reoccurring problem. I want to know if anybody else has noticed this. I mean, it's getting more and more common. Okay, so I'm noticing that there's more and more Section 8 tenants that are trying to open an illegal, child care center in a Section 8 house or apartment. Okay, it's super illegal. It violates all Section 8 rules. You're not allowed to do that. But people keep trying to, just in the last year, I think I've had to evict 6 people or 6 families, however you want to say it, 6 households, okay, that were trying to run this illegal child care center out of their house. Okay, they didn't have a business license. They didn't have anything. They just put a sign out, started advertising, and I don't know, is this only happening in Tulsa? Is anybody else seeing this go on anywhere else in the country? That's not the only Section 8 scam that we've been seeing a lot recently. So what we'll see is a tenant will have a Section 8 voucher and they'll rent the house, but then they'll never actually move into the house. So instead what they'll do is they'll sublease it out to someone that is like a cash tenant, right? So they're, number one, not paying any rent because Section 8 is paying it, and then they're collecting $1,000 a month as in pretending to be a landlord, right? So I'm just wondering if anyone else has seen this, anyone else has heard about this. Why is the news not talking about this, right? I've tried to make news stations aware of it. Nobody seems to care. And I mean, it's not like this is a 1 or 2 time thing. This keeps happening. Every month I'm having to evict someone that violated these policies, right? And, it's not us necessarily evicting. It's the city telling us hey, these people got to go because they violated lease. So I don't know. What have you guys seen? Is it just me? Is it just Oklahoma? What's going on here?
So I had to evict somebody from Section 8 housing this week. We had this elderly lady who is blind sign a lease with the help of her daughter to occupy this property. This property had been completely redone. Well, the reason I had to evict this lady is she never moved in. Instead, her son-in-law moved in. He was running a business out of this house. The reason this is so upsetting is that this gentleman that took possession of this property took away affordable housing for people that really need it. And he did not qualify for Section 8 because he made too much money, as did his wife. Needless to say, we had to go to court. I evicted them. And my wife was with me because she was the representative of the company. And there is a massive investigation underway because we reported it to Section 8. They ended up doing a welfare check on the lady who was supposed to be living there. She wasn't living there. In fact, she had never moved out of her prior residence. Well, Section 8 informs the district attorney's office, who then informs the ATF because it's federal in nature. And now there's a federal investigation as well as a state investigation. But eventually we got them out. We got the locks changed that day. We emptied the house that day and we came back and I went to work. But that's wild. Please. Affordable housing is a need in this country. When people run scams like this, you're only hurting the people that need it the most.
So this might be a few parts, but this is a Section 8 drama that I got pulled into not too long ago. And what's crazy to me is if you're going to be getting assistance from the government, why are you scamming? Like, if you're scamming the government, eventually you're going to get caught. Like, it's going to get caught. It's going to happen. Especially these days, everything's monitored, everything's tracked. It's insane. So, long story short, lady contacts me that says, hey, I got this tenant. She's behind, and she's a Section 8 tenant, and I would like you to help me get her caught up or get her evicted or whatever. Okay, great. So, first thing is I try to reach out, no response. And to clarify what she's behind on just her part of the payment, which is a minuscule part of the payment, roughly $100 or so a month. But she hasn't paid it in like over 12 months, right?
So today I'm going to give you a quick story time about a time when a young man came in to report his baby mama frauding. So he came into the lobby and he indicated that, you know, he had been living with this young lady and that she failed to report that he was living with her and that he was working, and she didn't report to us that that he was working, and so, you know, she was frauding the system. And now keep in mind, this is he is the father to her children. So he's coming in, he's running it down about everything that went on with them. And so, you know, I politely invited him into my office, and I allowed him to continue on, you know, telling me what was going on between he and the young lady. And so, you know, after he finished, you know, I said to him, I said, well, we're going to call him Mr. Snitch. I said, well, Mr. Snitch, I said, I'm going to step outside of my director's position. I said, and I'm going to talk to you, you know, woman to man. I said, if I terminate her from the program, I said, do you have somewhere for her and your children to reside once she loses her Section 8? I said, are you going to provide her assistance, rental assistance, because she won't be receiving any more rental assistance from the Section 8 program? I said, are you concerned that she may be homeless because she will lose her Section 8? And he just sat there, you know, he answered no, you know, to the questions. He didn't have a unit or a house he could provide for her and his children, and that, you know, he'll try to assist her in paying the rent that we, Section 8, was affording her on a monthly basis. I said, so you might want to think twice before you come down to snitch on your girlfriend. I said, because not only will it be detrimental to her, I said, but it's detrimental to your children as well. So people, just be careful when you're out there, you know, report the income. We don't mind that, you know, you have your baby, you know, your child's father, your children's father living in a household. We don't mind that at all. We just want you to let us know so that we can include the income in the household. Please don't get caught frauding the system, because again, like I indicated in my last video, it will be somebody who you know who will tell on you and cause you to lose your Section 8 voucher. Now you know.
The amount of people who try to game the system is so many. There are a lot of people in low-income housing who do this all the time. They have other people living with them, but they never report that income. They don't want higher rent, or they don't want to lose the housing voucher for Section 8. That is why they do it. That is for people who cannot afford to pay for their housing, their rents alone. But if you have a person staying with you who is part of your household income, then you have to report that.
Okay, so I don't know if y'all have heard about these landlords that are getting these Section 8 clients and then charging them for amenities such as a ceiling fan or a storm door is considered an amenity. Now, here's how they're loopholing this. Basically, to get your unit or your house or whatever you're using as your Section 8 to qualify, you don't need these things. So in essence, they get the voucher or whatever, and then they charge these people for like a subscription or just the use of a screen door or the use of a ceiling fan. And it's like one dude, I'm not gonna put his name up here, but he's like, he charges like he makes like $40,000 $45,000. And like I said, there's a loophole. He's literally exploiting the poor. And it's like, this is why we should not have allowed private landlords to receive vouchers. It's like the government was just like, hey, you know, we can't build enough housing fast enough, or we won't build enough housing fast enough, so we're going to let private landlords do this. And then they're allowing this. Why has this not been closed up? Like, it's already hard enough to be poor. Like, again, if you've seen one of my videos beforehand over how I, you know, assisted a young mom in getting her rent paid, and all the hoops and hurdles that I went through to get this paid. Like, I literally had to pay, literally. And you're out here, you know, charging people to use a fucking ceiling fan. You've got to be, I was like, my flabbers were gasted. And then there was one dude like, yeah, you know, my friend, you know, does this or whatever, and he gets money, and, you know, this is how he takes care of his grandparents, and he's a real honest dude. I was like, I don't think you absolutely understand the word honest. And he was like, I said I didn't do this. I was like, I didn't say you did it either, but you damn sure called your friend honest. That's not honesty. I was like, yo, and you sleep at night doing this to people who are trying to get ahead? And I'm like, this is why some people get trapped in that system and can never get out, because ain't shit landlords. Like, y'all, I just go back to all of my students that I knew were on assistance, and I'm like, their parents were out here struggling to just do the bare fucking necessities, and you're telling me that someone is out here charging to use a ceiling fan? Like, it's 12,000 degrees outside, and you're charging to use a ceiling fan on a government unit that you're receiving money from like, hey, yo, Uncle Sam, why are you not taxing the shit out of these people getting this extra income? He's getting $45,000 extra. I think y'all need to hit that man up, because I'm pretty sure they're not reporting this shit right. Y'all really need to start investigating these landlords and these vouchers, because, hey, there's extra tax money on the table that y'all not getting. Boom.
I want to say this, and I don't know who it's for, but I know that it needs to be said. If you're on Section 8 and you've never one day in your life thought about getting off of Section 8, you've never said, I want to buy a house, I want to move from here, I want something bigger, and you've never actively worked towards those goals, you're a fucking gutter rat. You're a loser. Why are you comfortable with that? You know you could get something nicer, right? If you go to work, you know that you could actually live where you want to live. You know your income doesn't have to be capped, right? These Section 8 recipients and low-income housing recipients are what the fuck is wrong with the program. There's nothing wrong with help. I think that's what you guys are missing, because what happens is a lot of Section 8 girls will get on here and start cussing me out, and they'll be in the restricted comments. Why are you cussing me out? You need to be cussing yourself out. That you don't have any fucking goals for your children. That your children have no generational wealth, and they'll probably never go on vacation either. That your children's dreams are capped on a voucher, you fucking idiot.
A quick reminder, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's continue the video.
Hi guys, it is me, Sarah, again. So I've been gone for a little bit just because there really has been nothing going on in the neighborhood. However, we just had somebody move out, and I've got a couple more moving outs coming on later this week. So we're gonna go look at this unit and see how they left it. I don't know how I feel about this one. I'm not sure if it's gonna be good or if it's gonna be bad. It was way worse than I thought it was going to be. I tried to be optimistic. But it's okay. We'll get in here and we'll get it all cleaned out, and we'll rerun it to somebody else after everything's fixed. But if you happen to be one of the people who get Section 8 or housing vouchers and you're wondering why no landlords wants to take them, this is why. This was a Section 8 person who just tore our house up. So it is what it is, and that's one of the reasons why a lot of landlords don't take the Section 8 vouchers anymore.
This is just horrible. Here is the thing about human beings. When their money is on the line, they care for the property. But if their money is not on the line and other people are paying for them to live, they don't care because they're not the ones going to pay for it. They can do anything to your property and nothing is going to happen to them because they're not financially liable or responsible for anything in the house. This is why you have to be very careful with people who don't have anything to lose. We don't value things that we don't have any financial investment in. Things and people. If we are not financially invested in you or in a place, we will treat that thing or that person any type of way.
I'm so angry that I had to lock myself in my bathroom because I am trying to figure out what is abusing Medicaid and why are y'all even entertaining or debating with anyone saying, oh, well, I see them driving this car, that car, they got this, they got that. I don't care. What is abusing Medicaid? Going to the doctor too much? Seeing the doctor? Going to the hospital? Paying for prescriptions? What about that is being abused? Can somebody please explain to me how is anybody in this country, how is anybody abusing being able to afford going to the doctor or the hospital or pay for their medications?
Hey y'all, it is your favorite child support attorney with another segment of Simple Child Support Issues Explained. Okay, so I just want to be clear that if you have a baby and you have what the state considers to be cash benefits, which are caretaker supplement, W-2, or child care, then you essentially give the state the ability to ask for child support on your behalf because those benefits are expensive. So you can't come to court and be like, I'm living with my child's father and I get child care or I get, caretaker supplement for those, for whatever reason. And I don't want to add him as a member of my household for benefits purposes. Not only are we, as the child support attorneys, mandated reporters, but you don't get to have your cake and eat it too. Like, I've literally had participants change their story after they find out that the other parent has to be added as a member of their household. Like, if you don't cooperate and you don't have good cause, like there is a DV or anything like that, and you don't cooperate with child support, those type of benefits can be sanctioned. Like, I don't know what I would do if somebody told me, and I pay for childcare, if somebody told me that they favorite little busybody toddler couldn't come to daycare for a month. Like, not only does, that need to happen for me to have a break, but I need to be able to function throughout the day. And I just can't with that. So please, if you come with your story straight. Either, have the other parent contribute to the $1,200 plus that the state is paying for daycare and you don't receive that benefit from the state anymore because y'all don't want that parent on child support, or the other parent pays 17% for one kid, or they pay 25% for two kids, and so on for the kids that y'all have together. It's that simple. Like, don't come in trying to lie because we still human and we definitely can spot a lie.
Section 8, baby, let's talk about it. Section 8 is a blessing. It was created to help people who are struggling, not as a trap, but as a trampoline. It's supposed to give folks room to breathe while they rebuild. Mentally, financially, emotionally, spiritually. Let's be real, not everybody uses this like that. Instead of elevating, some people are doing everything that they can to stay stuck. And it's not because they can't grow. It's because they've grown comfortable and struggle. The first thing is, if I make too much money, they'll raise my rent. So instead of leveling up their income, people start turning down hours, quitting jobs, choosing under the table work. They can keep their rent low. They fear abundance because they believe to condition that more success equals less support. What they don't realize is they're capping their own potential just to stay small. A lot of people feel like, why leave if I'm comfortable? Some folks get used to paying $0 to $20 of rent, so they just stop striving. They stop planning to own a home, improving their credit, or breaking generational curses. They just sit. Meanwhile, people with the real needs, single mom with disabled kids, the elderly, folks on disability, are sitting on the waiting list for years. They attach their identity to struggle. Struggle becomes familiar. Growth feels uncomfortable. So they stay where it's safe. They don't have to change, risk, or expand. It's not always laziness. Sometimes it's trauma and fear. But the result is the same. They block their own elevation. Some people like to game the system. Lying about who lives in the home, not reporting full income, having partners who live rent-free but aren't on the lease. Then they'll get mad at the system and they're the ones manipulating it. This isn't survival anymore, baby. That's entitlement. But here's who hurts in the process. Disabled parent who's trying to get safe housing for their child in a wheelchair. Young G woman fresh out of a DV relationship who's working 2 jobs and still can't afford rent or a place to stay. Grandmother who's raising her grandkids with no support and no place to stay. They're not asking for handouts. They're asking for a chance. The chance is taken by people who don't want to grow because their rent will change. Section 8 is not the problem. The mindset is. Let's be clear. Crystal fucking clear. This is not about race either. White people are on Section 8. Hispanic folks, Asians, black people. Okay? So it's nothing about race. This isn't a race issue. It's a personal responsibility issue. We need to stop letting shame, comfort, or fear keeping us from stepping up or stepping off when the time is right. Nobody is saying get off tomorrow. Nobody is saying that you don't deserve help. I'm not saying that. But if you're sitting on Section 8 year after year, not working, not growing, not healing, not planning for better, then you're blocking someone else's breakthrough. Use it to heal. Use it to breathe. But most of all, use it to elevate. Because Section 8 isn't supposed to be forever. It's supposed to be your bounce back. And y'all know I had to add this in there. Some of y'all are not stuck because of the system. You stuck because of your own fucking mindset. And you need to realize that. Having boyfriends live in your house, rent-free, not helping you pay a dime, and allowing you to sit on Section 8 is diabolical. Not only is it a violation of your lease, baby, it's a violation of your peace. Do you hear me? Not only are you risking your fucking voucher, you're risking your kid's stability and your safety just to say you have a man in your bed. And let's be real, most of the time, these type of dudes are not building you up. They're bringing chaos, drama, toxic energy, and most especially illegal activity to your home. You're doing everything to protect a grown man while risking the one thing that's keeping housing over your head. Protect that voucher, boo. There's people out here that have been waiting on the Section 8 waiting list for years. They've been in DV relationships and going through the most terrible things, and they really need it. And some of y'all have the opportunity and you're fucking it up and you're playing with it. Hey, it's your life. Live how you want to live, but don't complain about what the system not doing when you're not doing nothing to elevate your fucking life.
Whose idea was it for y'all to steal $70 million of the $86 million from welfare? Oh, it got to be childish. Now, this is actually a good thing because it brings exposure. But when the conversation about accountability come up, I don't really care who goes to jail. You know, throw somebody in there. But how do you plan to fix this issue for the next time is the real question. That's what we really want to know. How you go fix it? Like the lady on the news who said she wanted welfare for childcare because she had to work. What's the recompense? Also, I've been told y'all there's money out here. It's always money out here. The only thing about it is, it's seemingly that certain sections and states of the government are very poor at managing the money. But y'all know what conversation this brings up, don't you? Voting. So it's time to, once again, watch who arises as a candidate and uses this for their leverage. Also, if you're a person, because candidates are real people, who want to run for that office or whatever, it's time to start talking. If there's somebody y'all want to put out the office, this is time to start talking. You got to know how to play the same game that them folk been playing on us in votes and courts and politics. Like, listen, I don't care red, green, blue, what side it is, who finna do right? Listen, all you people who bring up all these excuses, well, let me tell you something. All the males that are scared to vote, who got all that noise to say, don't come in my comments, just go. Because I ain't got nothing for a man that don't vote. But I just want to talk about that for a second, because that's crazy. Still, $70 million out of $86 million? And the thing you thought to do was to build a volleyball court? Not Brett Favre. My bad. Brett said he didn't know. But, you know, the investigation shall go on. But, I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all think. And I would say my usual ending, but right now, I'm idiot with TikTok about the terms that I've been saying about this right here. But go get your crooked letter T though, and go get your listen hat. Let's go.
Hello, happy Thursday. Yeah, today is Thursday. Okay, I just had to say this. Yesterday I was taking my cousin to go see her in a house, and so, yeah, there was another girl there, and so she was trying to get in and see the house as well with her Rentley app. Okay, so she lives in the house or whatever. Anyway, we all get in the house, and the girl starts bragging about how she just got approved for Section 8. I feel like this is my blessing because I'm tired of paying rent, and my husband said he's tired of paying rent too. And so we get outside, and I'm just like listening to what she's saying. And so she was like, yeah, I got like another rental house. And I said, well, I like your car. She was like, yeah. So I got the Scat Pack. She was in a Kia. So I'm like, okay, well, let me hear it. I'm not knowing nothing about no Scat Pack that's only on charge or whatever. And so she said, no, I meant my other car. I got a Scat Pack. And I'm just sitting here looking like, wait a minute. Y'all, this begs my spirit, for real. Because you mean to tell me you on Section 8. You just got approved for Section 8. You got a Scat Pack. You got the brand new Kia sports car. And you got a rental house that you renting out. And another one you said. Baby, listen. I wish I could have got that girl name. Because I would have reported her to Section 8 so fast. It's people like this. I swear for cheese and crackers I would have reported her. But it's people like this that play with the system. And that's why I'm happy that Trump is changing a lot of things with that. Because just like she's sitting up there playing with the system and don't really need help. It's people out here who really do need help that don't have that type of income because, man, why are you on Section 8 and you got all this? And then she had on her work shirt as well, so she just came from work. So she working a job as well, and I doubt if her husband work. Oh, he probably do work, ain't no telling. But you got all this income, but you on Section 8, and you talking about that's your blessing from God. Baby, that's not your blessing from God. Baby, that's not your blessing from God. That's a scam, ma'am, is what that is. And don't put God in it. I am so tired of people using the system that it makes absolutely no sense. And I guarantee you somewhere she get food stamps too.
That right there is fraud. You don't actually need the help. You own 2 rental properties and you have a new car. And yet you just got approved for Section 8 housing. There are people who actually need the help, who can use it as a stepping stone to get to the next level of their lives. And here you are, you don't need it, but yet you're using it, literally abusing the system when other people need it more.
If I had Section 8, I would be bawling.
No, you would not. Would you like to know why? Because assistance like that, it goes by your income. That person only has to pay that certain amount because they are barely making anything. A lot of people talk down on people on assistance because you guys feel the need to constantly compare and compete and all of that stuff. Because if you know that you have a nice job, a nice house, you live in a nice neighborhood with a nice car, why would you be mad about the person over here living in the projects? A lot of these things that you guys complain about has nothing to do with these people half of the time. It very much has to do with the government. People are so stuck on wanting to throw out the lazy word. Everybody's lazy. No, everybody is mentally drained, okay?
Oh my god, guys. Somebody reported me to the state of Michigan fraud department, so now all my welfare benefits are cut off. My $4,400 in food stamps I get a month, my $2,300 in cash benefits, my Section 8, and even my disability checks. My account is still under review, and the police are on the way. So that's great. I might go to jail now. So whoever reported me, grow the fuck up.
The good thing about having Section 8 is it does go with your income. So if your income is up here, you pay some rent, you just don't pay the market rent. If your income is down here, then you pay a smaller amount of rent. But still, it's the income that matters. So if you qualify for the lowest income, that means your income is that low that you don't have to pay regular rent. You'll qualify as low income. So what that means is, obviously, if your rent is that low that you don't have to pay rent, that means you don't have enough money to pay your bills either. Your other bills that you might have, that's the hard part about being low income. You don't have enough income to actually live. But if you do, your income is up here and you're paying rent, your income is still not above the low income mark, which disqualifies you from being low income or Section 8. So it's up here, but it's not above. And when it's up here, that means, okay, you have enough now that you can pay your rent. You might not be able to pay your other bills, but you at least can pay rent. That's what that is. And that's where a lot of people are. They have enough money just to pay their living expenses, to pay their rent, maybe their lights, maybe a little phone bill, maybe a little car note, I don't know. But after that, that's it. That's it. So I really wish people would stop saying like, oh, you on Section 8, you know, it must be nice to live free. It's not free. My little check, once the bills is paid, ain't nothing left. It ain't much left. So am I appreciative of it? Yeah. Do I wish I had more income to disqualify me from being low income? Yes, I do. That way, my income be up here. That means I could pay my rent and all my bills and not be low income. But especially being a single mom, like, I'm low income. Real low. And one day that's going to change, but right now, it's low. It's low. I got to get ready for work right now. But yeah.
So this video is for anybody who don't understand why it's bogus as hell to continue to keep having kids while you on welfare. I'm going to explain why. So when you go and you apply on the website, it clearly calls you a needy family. And when you sign and you accept, you are saying, hey, I am a needy person and I am unable to take care of myself and my kids. Welfare benefits of temporary assistance for needy families. If you or your family are experiencing financial hardship, find out how you can get help with paying for food, housing, and more. You guys see temporary assistance for needy families. I am not talking about anybody that get welfares. I am simply just giving you advice to not have any more kids if you are struggling. Work on getting yourself together, then have more kids. Get off of welfare and then have more kids. This is strictly for people that just popping out babies and are not focusing on getting themselves together. Ladies, focus on getting yourself together, okay?
Welfare fraud. Do they check? Can they find out? Absolutely. Today I was at CCB. My client was charged with welfare fraud. Over $6,000 at issue. I managed to convince the DA to dismiss the charges so long as she could pay that back. That's going to happen. Great result. Second case was a petition to terminate sex registration. It's going to get granted as well. DA just needed some time to review the petition. So that's what's going on today.
Did y'all hear about the lady that committed welfare fraud? So she would go to Walmart every month and purchase 100 cans of soda. And then she would dump the cans in Walmart parking lot and then sell the cans for money. And one day somebody called the police on her. Now she's been doing this for months and months and months, probably a few years. And someone one day called the cops and the cops came and said, what are you doing? Like, why are you dumping? She's like, I'm dumping the soda so I can sell the cans. They're like, but it's costing you more money to buy the soda than you'll get back on the cans. And she's like, no, I'm buying them with my food stamps. So she snitched on herself. And these cops said, that's fraud. And she's like, how is that fraud if I'm buying it with my food stamps? Y'all already probably know how this woman looked from this story, okay? Because y'all already probably know. I'm not even going to put out any. Y'all already know that it couldn't have been one of me, because y'all know they would have just sold them for seven for 10, and her now they doing 8 for 10. Y'all to just did something like that. So this woman really went to jail and got arrested for food stamp fraud, and she has to pay back like $23,000. It's crazy. Y'all got to look up this story. It just came up on my timeline. I'm like, that's crazy. I'm just mad that she didn't know that that was fraud and that she was bold enough to tell on herself. Y'all need to stop snitching on yourself. And she could have got more money just trying to sell them 7 for 10. I'm just saying.
All right. She knew that was fraud. She knew that it was wrong. Come on now. She knew that what she was doing was not the right thing to do. She was just pretending. She just acted innocent only because the cops were there. That's why. But come on. She knew that was wrong. She knew.
Okay, state of California, whoever gets Section 8. I actually talked to a friend of mine that works in LA Housing Authority. She called me up and she was telling me that in the state of California, Section 8 is okay for now. She said 2025, that's the funds are there. Funds are there, everybody's good. She was like, it's hard to get in on Section 8. She's like, a lot of places our vouchers are closed. She asked me about Orange County. I was like, yeah, you can't get a voucher. It's hard to get a voucher out here. And she was like, but 2026, she said, I was telling my clients that they need to save. I said, well, they need to save anyway. I was like, she was like, yeah, I need to save. I was like, yeah, I said, I have a little stash saved up, you know. But she was like, save all you can, because she said, because it's about to get rough and turbulent. She was like, do very little spending as possible. And I was like, yeah. I said, we were talking about credit cards, and she was like, honey, she was like, let them credit cards go. I said, no, I'm gonna pay those credit cards down completely as if I can. And then I said, I'm locking them up. I said, they're going to be for emergencies. And then she asked me, you have your go bag? I said, girl, what? I got a go bag. I said, I got my emergency bag already done. And we were talking about, you know, how I stocked up on shelf stable foods. And she was like, I haven't did that yet. And I said, I suggest you do. So we were just talking back and forth on, you know, just preparing, preparing for the worst. We're hoping for the best, but as what we see, is not looking so good. You know, and I told her, I said, you know what, I'm glad I'm blessed enough that I still have businesses that come to me to promote their products. I said I think I have a year's worth of skincare. I don't have to worry about that. I said I have a wardrobe for days. And I said I'm about to donate some of that. I have so many clothes that I don't have enough space in my closet. And I consider myself truly blessed on that front. That I have brands that send me stuff on a daily. I consider myself very blessed. And for those who say I need to be humble, no, I don't need to be humble. But I am very grateful. Grateful for everything I receive. Don't get it twisted.
I appreciate you guys watching the video today. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.